Hey everyone, my name is Brooke Luntz. I'm a writer, software engineer, and creative hacker with a focus of turning writers into authors. And today I want to talk about one of my all-time favorite books, which is Howl's Moving Castle. I know that there's a movie on Howl's Moving Castle by Miyazaki. There's also the book by Diana Wynne Jones. They're both so good. Miyazaki obviously took a different spin on Howl's Moving Castle and made it his own. He likes to focus on like war themes and why war is terrible, which war is terrible. He has some valid points there, but that's kind of his voice, his truth, his brand. Miyazaki is fabulous, but I want to talk about the book itself, just why Miyazaki even thought it was worth making a movie on. The book is so good. The writing style is a little bit older, but the story itself, this is why I think that story is so important. It's not always the writing style. Like, writing style is important, but having a solid story there first is way more important than having a good writing style. So the reason I love Howl's Moving Castle so much is, well, it's really like, it's fun and quirky, and the story is very original. Like, the plot is very original, all the plot elements are original, great world building. What I love the most about Howl's Moving Castle are the characters. Sophie is hilarious. I love her. I love that she just starts out thinking that she's just bound for failure, that she's in this kind of Cinderella situation where she's got her stepsisters that are prettier than her, more successful than her. She just thinks that she's in the perfect place for failure. She just knows it at deep down. She's also very self-conscious of herself. She doesn't feel very like pretty, but then at the same time, like, she just doesn't feel comfortable in her own skin. I don't know that necessarily, like, in the movie, there's a scene where she like pulls her hat down and she's like doesn't like her reflection. In the book, I didn't get that sense quite as much. I really, like, in my experience in life, like, I think there are a lot more things to be like not very confident about than just your looks. A lot of people think that, like, if you're pretty you should be confident. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, I've worked with many models that didn't have any confidence and they're gorgeous. I feel like in the book it was a little bit more than that. She just didn't feel comfortable in her own skin, and she sets out, she obviously like gets turned into a grandma, right? And obviously, like, she's definitely not pretty anymore and doesn't have to like feel like she needs to be. She's an old lady now, and it just completely strips away like all of her like inhibitions that she had. Her life is like, if she's old now, her life is pretty much over. She doesn't have to worry about being successful. And it just completely like changes her outlook on life. And then when she meets Howl and she realizes like Howl is the complete opposite of her, where all he cares about, like, he is very successful and all he cares about is the way he looks. And he just thinks he's the greatest, and he just thinks he can win over every girl that like walks down the street, and he's kind of silly. I love that about Howl. Like, you can fall head over heels in love with Howl and still laugh at him at the same time. Like, he is a very imperfect character, and he is awesome. I would love to write a character like Howl one day. I think he's fabulous. But she meets Howl and he's just the complete opposite of her, and they kind of have to bring each other like out of their two extremes. She teaches him to not care so much about the way he looks and to like love somebody for real. To not be just like going after random girls until they like him and then dropping him. Like, to have like a real love for someone. And then he teaches her to be confident in who she is and to accept who she is. And he points out to her, like, the reason that you're still a grandma after all this time is because you want to be. Because you're so uncomfortable in your own shoes that you would rather like not have the pressure and be a grandma than to go back to who you were. And I think that's like so profound. I love these two characters' interactions with each other. They just keep me cracking up throughout the whole book, and I just love them so much. So if you haven't had the chance to read the book, I definitely recommend it. You obviously have to get past the writing style. If you're super picky about writing style, it might not be the book for you, but I think it's so good. So please comment, like, share, tell me what you think. I want to hear your thoughts on Howl's Moving Castle, the book or the movie. Let me know if you love it as much as I do, or if you didn't like it at all. I love both sides of the conversation. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope if you found it helpful. Thanks for watching.